Yeah, man. I don't know why it always feels like while on the clock, it's hard for me to be a man. And although I might be in an environment where the people are cool, even the place where I might be on the clock at, the people that come in might be cool. But just at the end of the day, once I'm off the clock, put my hours in, put my time in, I don't ever feel fulfilled. I don't feel as though it was energy well expended, I guess. So, one way to put it, I don't feel like it was time well spent. But I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal thing. Maybe I gotta change my outlook. But I'm getting old, man. I don't feel old aside from punching the clock, putting in the typical 8 hours, and then you know I feel kind of old then. But once I get back, you know, to the cribbo, get to myself, get back to myself, wash my face, and unwind, so to speak. I feel like I'm myself again. And I just feel like it's all about timing. Everything's about timing. How you spend that time, what you're accomplishing in that time. And it's always best to try to find a way to make time work for you. Not you working for time, so to speak. But, another day, more pay. It could always be more. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. But I'm choosing to be real with myself, be honest with myself, and share this thought, somewhat exploring my mind to try to find what is the cause of me not feeling accomplished. No matter what new situation I find myself in, if it involves me punching the clock, I never leave feeling fulfilled, feeling like I accomplished anything. And learning something new, being in new environments, meeting new people, that's always cool. But I don't feel like I could fully express my outlooks, my perspective, raw and uncut without compromising the clock I punch to get paid. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's a compromise, I guess, is the reason I don't feel like I'm the man I'm supposed to be, the man I was born to be. It's the compromising aspect is the only thing that's ringing true. That's the only thing ringing true in my ears as I say it out loud. The compromising factor is the thing that makes me feel as though I'm not being fulfilled personally, I'm not living up to my potential as a man. And a few people have told me it's always a good skill to have to be able to, go in, apply, interview, and then be hired by, employers and things like that. But I'm starting to wonder, what about my personality, what about my conversation makes people believe, employers I mean, what makes them feel as though I would be a fit for their company, Like, what energy am I giving off? And I know working is not just about a company and a brand, and it's more to it than just that. The people make the business run. I get that. And I like to believe that my personality meshes or is in harmony with the person interviewing me. But yet and still, they have to be interviewing from the perspective of the employer. Is this going to be a good, quote unquote, employee or worker, And that's the thing that strikes fear into my spirit. Like, am I giving off the energy of just a good worker? Am I giving off the aura of and it pains me to say, like a company man? And that's never my intentions. When I sit down and I'm interviewing with an employer, so to speak, I'm speaking genuinely. My enthusiasm is real. It's anything new, my idealism drives my enthusiasm. So on the surface, when I apply to these places, before I begin working, I think of the possibility of finally fulfilling that void that I haven't been feeling lately. That will bring me closer to feeling as though I'm accomplishing something as a man. But my idealism blinds me from seeing that every situation is going to have the common denominator of me punching the clock, of me compromising. Why I haven't put two and two together before applying? Actually, I was going to say I don't know, but I do know why. It's necessity, Necessity makes us compromise in those situations. Like you all heard, you got to pay your bills and you got to be productive, quote unquote, in some kind of way. You got to have something going on. And if you're not in the streets, if you're not a entrepreneur working for yourself, then you will be subject to punching a clock. And that's just the reality. That's just the way things go for those of us who don't have it made in the shade, so to speak, who weren't born with the silver spoon. And, as sad as it may be to some, and as sad as it may sound to others, it's still the reality. That's something that can't be maneuvered around. That's something that's just gonna remain. It's just what it is. And that being said, thinking about it, understanding where I am in my life right now, still appreciating my ability to accomplish what I've accomplished thus far, still feeling as though there's more I can accomplish and even will accomplish, if I may be so presumptuous. But, yet and still, every moment I find myself in situations such as the one I'm in now, when I'm punching the clock, I never feel as though I'm a man. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I want to. I want to feel as though I can, pop it like I like I know I want to pop it. But it's like in situations like that, compromise makes you do what you can do. Allows you to do what you can do, As far as what you want to do, those moments are only reserved for those who pick and choose how they spend their time. As long as you punching somebody's clock, you don't have a choice as to what you can and can't do, what you can and can't say. No matter how cool the staff may be, the people you work with may be, your higher ups, the people above you, assuming you're not a manager or a general manager, a store manager, or district manager, whatever the case may be. And even yet and still in those situations, you have somebody that's above you. And I'm saying that to say you cannot pick and choose what you can and can't say, what you can and can't do, as long as you are an employee on the time or clock of the employer. And that right there is is it dilemma? Catch-22, crisis, That is my problem. That is the age-old riddle as far as my life is concerned. I can get the job, there's nothing for me to get in, but remaining there and not allowing my thoughts of compromising and not allowing thoughts of me selling myself short to cripple my ability to grow in settings such as this. Because the growth is not going to come in an autonomous fashion. It's going to have to come within the system I'm working and getting paid by. So it's like the compromise is gut-wrenching to me because I feel as though if I had the resources, the time, if it was a perfect world, if everything lined up perfectly, I would not be spending my time working for somebody else, but instead I would spend my time perfecting my craft, promoting my craft, profiting from my craft, being proficient in and with my craft. But until that time, which I still do believe that time is on the horizon for me, it's just a matter of me carving out the time when I do have my own time to continue to refine and define what my craft is so that in time I can profit from that craft. But again, as long as I'm spending a majority of my days, a majority of my time, daily, weekly, however you want to cut it, monthly, as long as I'm spending that time subject to somebody else's time, I will never find that happy medium. Because as it stands now, I'm on the short end of the stick when it comes to the compromise that I'm faced with, that I have to live by, So, tis what it is, I guess, at this time, at this moment. Nothing left to say. Just thought I'd get that off my chest. I just counted these tips. I was like, bro, I gotta find a way to get more than this on the daily. And people have been reassuring me. They say, for lack of a better term, paraphrasing, I'm a natural. It's gonna come easier as I learn the ins and outs of this industry, so to speak. As I learn the ins and outs of this type of business. But the natural aspect I bring is my personality, which is always gonna be me. Even when I don't feel it, I'm able to conversate, speak. I'm able to, connect. Even when I don't feel it, not in a phony way, but just in a baseline, considerate way. It's always like the golden rule: treat people how you would want to be treated. And I live by that. I believe in that. I'm a proponent. What's the word? I'm a believer in that. You see? So that being said, that's always going to be the upside to anything I decide to spend my time doing. Whether that's punching the clock, like I said before, whether that's me investing in time that I have to myself to build on my craft, my personality is always going to be my personality. Me will always be me in every situation. But me is not helping me by continually allowing my personality to be exploited by the clock. Not the people that hired me, because in this where I'm at now, the people are cool. Like I said, even the people that come in are understanding and cool. It's a me thing, you know? It's something that I have to work out within myself. It's something that I have to figure out while I'm traversing this life we all live. But that goes for everybody. That's just not a me thing as far as the crisis I laid out to you, or the problem I feel like I'm facing. Everybody has one of those. It might not be the exact same thing that I'm laying out now, but everybody has one that they're dealing with. So I'm saying that to say I'm not unique in that aspect as far as navigating in this life, trying to, make the best of the breath that we breathe on a daily basis. Trying to make the best of that, Trying to find a way to make time work for us and not working for time, Because there's more to life than just punching the clock. But as I said before, majority of us weren't born with a silver spoon. So everything's not laid out for us. So we have to, quote unquote, grind and, trade our time for money. Trade our labor for money. And I gotta find something different. I gotta find something new. I gotta find something I enjoy to do. Because it got to a point where I couldn't even express like I am known to express. But I find that joy when I'm, again, investing in my craft, when I'm doing things that I enjoy doing as far as spending my time. That joy is there. That joy is there. And it's funny how when you're doing something in which you have to compromise, everybody's going to applaud you. Everybody's going to pat you on the back, say you're doing a good job, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in their eyes, as far as they believe, as far as they see. But if you allow that to be the measuring stick for how successful you are, people will always dictate how you live your life. And that's something I know, but the situation I'm in now, it's like I have no choice but to take with a grain of salt the applause, the pats on the back, the encouragement, so to speak, that comes with people's belief in what should be done, how one should be living their life, how one proves they're a man. But again, you have to have your own understanding of, one, what a man is, two, what a man should do, and three, how a man should be. You gotta have your own understanding of those things. This goes for women too. But have a understanding of what it takes to be a stand-up human being, and that should never be compromised. Even if in flesh and by way of your actions, you have to compromise for the sake of survival. Never allow the principles you form within yourself to be compromised, And now that I'm saying it out loud, that's probably where the conflict is coming from, as far as internal conflict with myself is coming from, or the internal conflict that I'm facing personally, is that I feel as though I'm tiptoeing on the thin line between compromising physically or in flesh by way of actions, and then also, slightly, not quite, but slightly compromising those principles at the same time. And again, we all have to make sacrifices, There's no without sacrifice. But weigh the impact of those sacrifices accordingly, you know? Every sacrifice isn't for you to make. Some sacrifices are mandatory for you to make, you know? But just because there's an opportunity to quote unquote sacrifice, you know, doesn't mean that that sacrifice is going to bring you success. And that right there is again why you should understand what you believe, what you say it takes to make a man, or woman, you know? You have to have that solidified within your mind. Because if everybody else dictates what that is, of course they're gonna want you to sacrifice in this instance, and sacrifice in that instance, you know? And you'll just be a person living and sacrificing, you know? Never really gaining or achieving. Because what you do gain, you'll have to sacrifice that again, and again, and again, because you're trying to live up to what people have set as your standard of living, you know? How you're supposed to survive and, you know, maintain whatever. You know? Because as long as somebody dictates how you spend your time, your conversation is at the mercy of how they say that time should be spent, you know? Your actions are at the mercy of how they say your actions should be made while you're on their time, you know? And it could really weigh heavy on the brain. It could really weigh heavy on the brain. So, yeah, I'm about to get in here, cool out. You know what I'm saying? Probably sip on some green tea. And yeah, just be me. That's all I want to do. You get what I'm saying? So yeah.